Nice to see
Hiya.
you. Yeah, hello, hello. So, selamat petang ya, selamat petang. So, good afternoon. So, we have,
Assalamualaikum.
yeah, Kamaria from Brunei today with me. And then we also have Indra from Myanmar with us. Mingalava.
Good afternoon, Minglava from Yuna.
Yeah. I was told now, Mingalava, in Myanmar, you still, especially Yangon, you still locked down, right? You have some township lockdown, right, at the moment?
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah. And then what about Brunei? Are you okay?
We have no lockdown at all, but we
Okay.
are good. Yeah.
Okay. So Malaysia, we have a second wave coming. We have a second wave coming, but luckily we identify where's the cluster, so it's okay. So we are still play pretty safe. Okay. So is it your mask on now? Is it like mask is a compulsory now in Brunei? No, no.
No.
In Myanmar, mask is it compulsory? Oh,
Must.
compulsory. Okay, so same as Malaysia. The moment, wow, okay, same as Malaysia, we have to mask on in the public area. Okay, so today is a very interesting topic we're going to have. You look at we are coming to the chapter 2. Ask Siga anything, originality of food, the ancient flavor of Southeast Asia. So today, although we have just 3 countries, but I think it's well presented enough from all the way up north, and then to the peninsula, and then we go to the Borneo side, which is Brunei, yeah, Brunei West
Yep.
situation. So it's a quite a large area we cover. So we're going to go into it. So let's on this topic we will choose one very common ingredient that we have in throughout the whole Southeast Asia. Okay, all ASEAN member state we do have, which is glutinous. So we're going to enjoy some slide here. So glutinous rice in traditional dessert and ASEAN food. So why we pick up glutinous is because of it's so common and it happens in everywhere when you visit Southeast Asia. You can easily find. And glutinous rice is also one of the, I would say that one of the oldest, So let's look at the next slide. So you can see not only in Southeast Asia, even like some east part and the west part, you can see the countries are mainly in the east. In the Asia, we have many countries we do eat glutinous rice. Yeah. So can I have the next slide also? And if you look at the the history is already been dated as 2,000 years. Okay, so it started from the documentation is say in from China. So why that is also one of the reason like why today we're going to see our some part of the way we presented this dessert or the way we're eating is very Asian way. Okay, and 1,100 years, this type of rice have been grown, in Laos. But unfortunately, today our Laos friends are not with us, but it's okay. When the border is open, we can always visiting Laos, and they have a very fantastic, this very tasty, delicious glutinous rice also. Okay, okay. Can I have the next slides? And this is the part of we're trying to show all of us that maybe look similar, but actually in many countries, especially in ASEAN member states, we do have, but could be the name a little bit different. So the first one is the onde onde buam laka or the klepon they call it. And it happens to be in Brunei, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia. This is quite common, yeah. And we also have like tang yuan or wedang ronde, or even in Myanmar, they have tang yuan also. Tang yuan is very Chinese way of the name of the dessert. Okay, it's called Mon Lon Yen Bowl. So then you have what Boa Loi, and oh my God, this for the Vietnam, I couldn't pronounce it. I'm so worried to pronounce it in the Vietnamese language. Then next one we have the Anku, okay, or we call it the red tortoise cake. Later I will talk about it a little bit more. So you can see quite common even in Thailand. We also have this in Philippines also. Okay, and next is the kue kochi. Yeah. Okay, so this is the give you some guideline on why we choose the glutinous rice. Okay, to talk about on this topic. Yeah. Okay, so without further delay, so I'm going to let Miss Bruna, okay, Ken, Okay, Cam, you're going to share with us this glutinous, this common ingredient that how do you make in Brunei or maybe in some part of the Borneo you would like to cover for us. Yeah. Thank you, Cam. Please
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Uh, Brunei actually imported a lot of their rice, glutinous rice, from either Thailand or Cambodia. But some of the organic rice comes from places like Baclalan and Barrio, which is in parts of Sarawak, which are actually brought into us uh, by land transportation, yeah, by trucks and everything coming through us if they're coming out of Miri and other places nearby. But if
Mm-mm,
they are actually from Cambodia and Thailand, they come into a state store whereby people use them up because we don't eat glutinous rice every day as our starchy meals. They are part
mm,
of a desserts. Yeah. They are actually when they become into desserts, they're divided into two, which is
mhm,
one is savory, one is sweet. So if you look at it,
mm.
um, there you go. That's the
Yeah.
sweet one. Yeah. And these are the savory ones that we have. So looking
Okay.
at it, the food are different. But I
Mm-mm,
think there's quite a bit of similarity with the whole of Malaysia, especially places like in Sabah and Sarawak, especially the rice. So this
mm,
rice started, the glutinous rice started actually by soaking the rice for about 6 hours sometimes. Some do it for 6 hours, some do it for 3 hours.
mm-mm,
So when they do this glutinized rice in the past, they're actually part of a daily breakfast that we have and
mm.
people still sell them. But especially when it's local weddings, Malay weddings, this is
Mm.
what they used to serve in any of the nights when they have ceremony in the house.
I see.
So what do you need actually? You soaked it first. You identify what type of leaf you want to use. This type
Mm-hmm,
of leaf is called the nuric leaf, while this type of leaf is called the palm leaf.
mm,
So the palm leaves and the nuric leaves, palm is from the water, the
mm-hmm,
nuric leaves is from actually from the land side. So
mm-hmm,
nuric leaves are very common everywhere, and this is only you can get in our Brunei water. So
mm-hmm,
when we do this, after we've soaked the rice, clean the leaves and everything, what we have to decide is what we're gonna either have it neat with nothing, no
mm-mm.
fillings, or we have to decide whether you want to have fillings. When
I
you
see.
do not want to have fillings in this rice, what they normally do is they will put chicken, curry
Mm.
chicken on the side or rendang, so you can actually dip them. I think we had something similar in Laos, yeah, in
Mm.
Luang Prabang.
Yes, yes.
But the leaves they use is, I think they use, it could be banana leaves. But
Mm.
while in Brunei we use nuric leaf and we use our mangrove leaves, mangrove palm leaves. So after you've soaked it, what you're gonna do, you boil it together, the rice and water, and put a bit of salt. Some
Mm-mm.
will put coconut to make it very starchy and very creamy, fatty. Yeah, if you look at it,
Yeah.
they call it as lemak. When they do is lemak, they cook it halfway. Then they will settle this to cool down. Only then they take the rice. If they're taking the rice, what they do is they clean it up. Either you put on your palm of your hand or on your thigh or on a plate. Okay,
Yeah.
and you will scoop how many rice you want to do. All right, because in the past, people who lives in the village will normally just, lay a piece of cloth on their thigh and just lay the leaves and put on the rice. Now, as I was saying earlier, if you want it no filling or filling. So if you want to have the filling, then what they do is they will basically in the water we always use dry prawns. So you mix the dry prawns with chili paste, with onions, garlic, and other spices. And when you spread the rice, then you put on the prawns. I think we have a video on it later. And
Yeah.
then only you wrap it up. Once you wrap it up, you wait until you have mostly in the village, they'll do about 200 pieces. No, 200 is too little. Could be even 1,000 pieces. It's just to serve people. And sometimes they do it daily as part of what you are eating for festivals or celebrations in the house. Or other than that, you can eat them any other day. For me, I serve them for breakfast in the house.
Mm.
So when we do this, then either you tie it up or you put in another container and steam it. So you will steam it for another 45 minutes. After it's done, then you put aside. So this rice, if it was in the water village in the past, what they do with this is they become the staple food for them to go into the river. Yeah, when they go into the river for the fishermen. And so, we don't have Tupperware or whatever in the past. So they will just wrap it up in a sarong to keep it warm. But nowadays, with the modern technology, you have things that you can keep it warm and they will serve it every time. So this is how it will look like. Okay. And this is how that looks like individually. And as I was saying, it's two different types. So depending what you are having. Okay. So beside prawns, you can also use beef or chicken. But in the water village, most of us rather our chicken. So beside it being savory, we have the sweet ones. So like your country and my country and part of Indonesia, we have on their own day. But this one is called pengalaban. So books are also made from all these desserts that you have. So we have the pengalaban, if you look at it. Okay. And we will tell you books on traditional Malay snacks and things, what you actually want to have, or how, if you want to actually learn how to do them, this is a fantastic book. All right, so with this book, it helps you to understand what are the dishes like, okay, with all the ingredients. This is also to encourage people out of Brunei to actually understand that there are food like this in Brunei that you can actually learn how to make and bring it home and serve them in your own house and things like that. So here we are with a page teaching you how to do things. Okay. How to do those things. All right. So that's how we normally do. So this is very similar to mochi. Right? Very lovely but sticky unless you sort of chew them. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what you do have for either desserts, afternoon tea, or breakfast.
Okay.
Okay.
So next is you're going to share us the video, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So these are some of the. This is how it's served. This is how it looks in the inside.
I thought you could open one and eat in front of us.
Do you want one? I can eat them and show them how it looks like.
Yeah, I think that will be nice. Yeah.
You might get hungry. So this is beras pulut locally. That's what they call. Some will put pandan. Some will put water, daun nyirik, coconut milk. The best is the fresher ones. By the way, I would like to say thank you for the person who made this video. Okay, that's how they mix it. This is a small portion, but if it was in the village, there comes 8 in big portions, and they use big cooking pots which are big enough to fit everyone. And then the rice. So when we do them at home in the village, it's normally good for 1,000 people.
Oh, you mean you serve really like a big pot, is it?
We put them in a big pot, and that's how you wrap it up. That's why I say when we were younger, we put on our thigh and wrap it up. That's it. Voila. Okay. And that's when they arrange it.
Interesting is you use the down kunyit, huh?
It's daun nyirik, they call it. Daun nyirik. It's not kunyit, it's daun nyirik. That's That's how it looks like. All right.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So now it's time for you to eat in front of us, yeah?
I might just do that.
So this is like a
So
compulsory breakfast, or it can be any time, right? Doesn't matter. Huh?
It can be any time. On the move, people take what do you call it? Cereal breakfast. Those little boxes that to go. I sometimes take this to go. That's when I'm hungry.
Okay. Wow. So let me see the ingredients inside. This is sweet. This is inside. What is it? Put ayam.
Prawns.
Prawns. Like pulut lah.
I normally like prawns. Yeah, these are pulut, so they break away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or then you just
So
do
prawns are nicer.
So you don't do the barbecue way. You just do the kukus.
No, it's not panggang. It has to be kukus. It has to be steamed.
Okay, it has
all
to
right.
be.
So let me show you the other one, which is the sweet one. So the sweet one is like that.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
and this is actually looking like a mochi. Can you see that?
Ah, yes, yes. Very
And the
sticky. Yeah.
inside is
Coconut.
coconut. Yep.
Ah, okay. Coconut. Yes, sweet. This is sweet.
So this
Oh,
one is uh,
okay.
yummy, but not good for people who can't eat. You don't want them to choke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's nice. That's nice. So, is there any like specific story behind when they making this? Like just now, what you share with us? Is there like any festival? Is there like specific festival, or it just
No,
normal,
for this one, when it started, it's because of the fishermen.
just
Because
fisherman?
people in the fishing village, yeah, it's just like people who are doing paddy and things. They can't go home. Sometimes they're out to sea for
Mm,
about 2 days or more than 24 hours, and they
mm.
can't get sustenance. There's no sashimi at that time. So
Ah,
what they
yeah,
do is they did the rice.
yes,
So
yes.
this is the rice that they take to sea. So it's easy
Okay,
to eat while they're pulling the trawlers and anything, right? So it's
yeah,
on the go. So no
yeah.
specific thing, but it's just that it's easier to eat on the go. I think
I
it's
see.
also happening in a lot of places beside Brunei, but
Mm.
could be their farmers and all those people. Yep.
Okay, okay. So this is mainly like Malay for the Malayu community, right?
The Malay communities, yes, but the Chinese communities could have something similar too.
Mm.
Um, I think like this one, I think the Chinese for this one, the Chinese community would be just like the anku.
Yeah,
Instead of
because
coconut,
I'm
you
curious.
have
Yeah, I curious why red color. I curious. You see, I
this
really
is
curious.
actually this is actually depicting a fruit tree which is in a mangrove. So they're
Mm,
just hanging around. Yeah.
mm,
So
mm,
they put this a bit of coloring to attract the kids to eat it. Because if you
mm.
look at it, if they don't eat rice, this is quite filling by itself.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, yes. Because
Yep.
sometimes when you see red, pink, this kind of bright color, you associate, like to very Chinese influence. Because the
Could be.
Chinese traditional kueh, they love color, bright colors. Yeah, so
But you
that's
know
why.
what? Brunei and kueh are very bright colors. I have
Okay.
quite a set of cakes in front of me actually because I'm hosting um, tea in a short while for 12 people.
Mm,
So we
mm.
have an array of food right in front of me. So not hungry.
Okay. Okay. So thanks for Ken for sharing to let us know. So
Hmm.
currently, besides people visiting, like you visiting house, then probably they will serve you. It's like a part of like a welcoming dish, right? Like a welcoming
Yes,
dessert.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
part
is there
of our hospitality.
that's how you show the hospitality. Besides drink and then kueh is like a must, right? Okay.
Hmm.
So we're gonna move forward to Myanmar now, okay? Because I saw like Myanmar using the glutinous rice are very different, quite different. So like I still have no idea. Maybe Indra want to share us more, like why you cook like that and the presentation. And I think there's a many like information behind. Yeah, yeah. So can we have Indra to share with us? Yeah.
Well, personally, I would like to share about tamale, glutinous rice,
Mm.
which is a festive delicacy in Myanmar.
Mm.
And why I select this one is it is prepared ceremonially on the full moon day of the Bodwe, the 11th month of traditional Burmese lunar calendar. So which
Oh,
is typically in February. Next slide, please.
yeah.
So actually, let me a little bit come back to come back. Uh, Myanmar, traditionally we are rice consumer, but we also have noodle or which is uh, which is made of rice or flour for the sake of neighboring with uh, China, Laos, Thailand, and India. So each month we have colorful festivals. So I select this tamale is glutinous rice. Glutinous food, but which is made of rice. It is also known as sticky rice. Especially, why Tamane festival is unique. Some monastery and pagodas, such as one of the world wonders, Sridagong Pagoda, hold Tamane making competitions, and also private sectors such as hotels or company, they also uh, celebrate tamane contests or tamane making competitions. So it's actually its preparation it is very labor intensive, and how can we need strength and unity. So we can say once one of the story I have had it. Uh, this this Tamane festivals or Tamane making Tamane making preparation, it needs uh, the preparation, the strength of the woman for preparation of the ingredients, and the unity of the man who prepare who make tamale. So it showed the equal participation of men and women. So that's why we can also see uh, the census and uh, multi quality uh, in this making tamale in these festivals. So let me share with what are the ingredients in this seasonal festive dish. So it consists of glutinous rice, fried coconut shaving, roasted sesame seeds, roasted peanuts, groundnut oil, ginger slices, brown sugar, and salt for seasoning. So these are the main ingredients uh, to prepare or to make tamale. So actually, okay, here, here you can see tamale making competition, especially at the government office, Tiger. So different the teams, and in the competitions, the prizes are rewarded for first winner, second winner, third winner, and so on. So it shows uh, the unity, team spirit, or teamwork in
Mm.
order to get uh, a delicious, tasty, uh, very nice
Come on.
tamale one.
Yeah.
You can okay, here we can also firstly, after making tamale, traditionally, firstly we offer to Lord Buddha first, then we donated to the monastery, uh, and then this festive food is ready to serve to all the visitors, uh, uh, or the people who come to the festivals. So
Mm.
uh, it's really exciting and enjoyable to participate
Mm.
in this festival, and in this especially February month.
Mm.
So here we are given the sticky rice is easier to eat without forks. So in the preparation, you can see we can just enjoy with the spoon, so we can tear off the small portion with our hands.
Mm.
Uh, so on the one hand, tamales also we can also make as homemade tamale.
Mm.
Uh, the ingredients are and then some we also would like to share the food, or what we call contribute to our neighbors using uh, packing in banana leaves.
Mm.
So not only annually because it's a festive food, but
Mm.
also we can also enjoy as homemade delicacy. And then, can you please go to next slide? Okay, so daily we can also buy at the night market or pagoda festivals, or it is available at the market. I'm sorry for to share my terminate today because we are somehow in the second wave, and actually, around my area, three or four shop, even supermarket, it is a lemonade is available. But unluckily, this morning I tried almost about 1 hour, but no shop is no shops are available, and the unluckily, unfortunately, they they closed. So I'm sorry to share in hand. So, but as you see, even daily or pagoda festivals is available, and we can find it to enjoy its days. So why Tamane is unique? It has it's available not only annually but also homemade food as well as daily food. So uh, uh, it's if you visit Myanmar, especially when in around February, uh, you can the visitor can observe, or the visitor can have a chance to join to participate Tamane making festivals.
Wow.
If not February, the if it is not the season time, but let me say 90% or 95% Tamane is available uh, at the Myanmar traditional snack sharing, selling Myanmar traditional snack sales shops.
Wow. Okay. Great. Okay. Interesting. Because I actually visited Myanmar, I think like 2 to 3 times, or maybe 4 times. Okay, throughout the years, nobody share me about Tamanea. Nobody tell me about that, and nobody even like show me and ask me must try. So I think this time I return, I definitely I want to try because it's quite how to say, when I see the way they're cooking, even the ingredient, it almost looks the same, but this one is actually a big scale because you do as a teamwork. Reminds me in our kampong, in our village, yeah. Those days, I think in Brunei also the same, right? The big quali. That's why everybody like work together. But I can understand why the men is have to do the cooking because it's sticky, so it require a lot of strength. And thanks for sharing this, and it's great that we go back. We can have that. Looking forward when the border is open again. So I think for my side from Malaysia, basically what Kamaria have and also what Indra was just sharing to us, our is very quite similar. But before we going into it, let's watch a short video from the Myanmar. Okay, let's have the look the video.
။ဦးလေးကငယ်ငယ်လေးကထိုးတာ။တမနဲ့ကိုအသက်20နဲ့3နှစ်သားတော့ထိုးတာတမနဲ့။
နေ့စဉ်ထိုးတဲ့မြန်မာယူကတမန်တော်ပြောတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့
တော်တော်လေးပြင်ပန်းတယ်ဒါမဲ့လည်းကျင်းနေပါတယ်
မြန်မာလူမျိုးတွေတော်တော်အကုန်ရိုးရထမနေပွဲဆိုတော့လေအားလုံးပီတိစရာ
ပြိုင်ပွဲကပြိုင်ပွဲအနေနဲ့ဟိုပါပေါ့ထူးခြားချက်ပေါ့နော်ထူးခြားချက်ကတော့တစ်ကတော့မြန်မာလူမျိုးတွေက ရှင်ပြန်ရင်းဒီအဓိကဆွေးရခြင်းမရခြင်းတာပဲဗလာနာအဓိကမဟုတ်ဘူးဆိုပြီးတော့ဒီအစင်လာနဲ့တတ်မှတ်ထားတဲ့ရေမှာတတ်မှတ်ထားတဲ့ပွဲတော်တွေဆင်နွှဲတဲ့သဘောပေါ့
ထမင်းနဲ့အနည်းဆုံး6ရောက်ထိုးရတယ်ထမင်းနဲ့ဒီပထမဆုံးကျွန်တော်တို့ကမီးမွေးတယ်မီးမွေးပြီးမှတခါတည်းမှာဒဲဟုတ်တင်တယ်ဒဲဟုတ်တင်ပြီးမှစီရင်ထည့်ရတယ်စီထည့်ပြီးမှစီကွက်ပြီးဆိုတော့မှတို့ကထမင်းနဲ့ကိုကောင်းချင်းဆန်ကိုထည့်ရတယ်ကောင်းချင်းဆန်ထည့်ပြီးမှကြောတာတို့ကကြောတာကောင်းချင်းဆန်ကိုကြောလိုက်တာကြောလို့အကြောင်ကကွာဟိုကိုဖြူဖြူလို့ချင်းဖြူဖြူချတယ်ရဲရဲလေးလို့ချင်းရဲရဲလေးတင်တယ်အကြောင်သေးမှမူတည်ပြီးတော့ကိုကြိုက်ပြီဆိုတော့အကြောင်ရောက်မှကိုကရေကိုထည့်နှက်တာရေနှက်ပြီးတော့မှနောက်တစ်ခါရေခမ်းပြီဆိုတော့မှဘာတွေထည့်အောင်ဆိုအုံးပြီးရယ်ချင်းရယ်တခါပြန်ထည့်နှက်အဲ့ဒါနှက်ပြီးဆိုတော့မှကောင်းချင်းလေးနှက်ရေလေးကုန်ပြီဆိုတော့မှအောက်ချပြီးတော့ကြက်ရသေးတယ်ပြန်ပြီးသင်းကြက်ရတာအဲ့ကျမှစားဖြူရတယ်ပထမဆုံးအောက်ချပြီးစားဖြူတယ်နောက်တစ်ခါကျမှတခါနှမ်းဖြူရတယ်နှမ်းဖြူပြီးမှမြေပဲဖြူပြီးမှမြေပဲပြောက်နှမ်းပြောက်အဲ့ကျမှအောက်ပြီးသွားတာအစင်းอ่ะ
ပြန်ဝဲစီမီစီကအသေးစိတ်ကတော့အများကြီးပေါ့ဒါပေမဲ့တကယ်တမ်းကတော့ပြန်ဝဲစီမီစီကဒိုင်ရင်ထုတ်ပြန်ထားတာတော့ထမင်းနဲ့ဒူရမှာပေါ့ကွယ်တမမြတ်တာမယ်အပြော့အမာအဲ့လိုမျိုးပေါ့နော်စားကောင်းရမယ်ပေါ့အဲ့လိုမျိုးပေါ့
ကိုကဌာနတွေထိုးရတဲ့ကိုတော့အတိုင်းပြီးတော့ပျော်ရွှင်မိတာပေါ့လေဟာဘာအားလုံးနဲ့မှာ36သိန်းကျွန်တော်တို့ပြိုင်နေတဲ့မှာကိုကပထမဆုံးရတယ်ဆိုတော့အတိုင်းပြီးတော့ဝမ်းသာပျော်ရွှင်မိတာပေါ့
Okay, that's interesting. Unfortunately, we used to have in Malaysia, especially in the northern part on the east coast side, we used to have our pesta for festival also for rice. So we call it like nasi seribu. Means it's like the 1,000 types of herbs, you know, the plant-based ingredients and how you cook into the rice. Okay. And this festival, I think, had been stopped for many, many years already because nobody, I think the older chef, the moment she passed away, and the family also stopped cooking it, and nobody like initiative to keep promoting it. And then I think this festival has gone. So when I watch that video, it really reminds me about, you know, the similarity competition when come from the food. Yeah, I'm not sure in Brunei you have like a similarity, this kind of festival also. For food, Kamaria?
We have yearly year-end food festivals that we have, but all sorts of food were in celebration of year-end. But we do have certain food festivals when we call it as gastronomy. But the best food time to come actually to Brunei to enjoy the food is during Ramadan. So Ramadan is the period whereby we have all spread of food. From anything you name it, we got it. So that's when they actually come out, and that's when people will try new fusion of food, put them together, and they're quite interesting. The flavors are wonderful, and well, I can't say much. You have to come to Brunei.
So I think the whole idea about the food, why today we choose this originality food to talk about it. Also, I think. Currently, the trend, I believe that the moment when the very young age kids until the oldest, our senior citizens, I think everybody enjoy food. But today, when we discuss here, I think we are more concerning and concentrating is more on the gastronomy, the word, you see, the gastronomy, because it's not about just the taste and how does it make traditionally, the ingredients, where does it come from. And sometimes it has to be associated to our own culture. Or it could be our own belief, and it also could be because of our environment. That's why it created in the presentation a little bit different. So from my side, it's a very quick video. Okay, so I just want to share you the video. I think it started 2 years ago. I believe in like if you want to introduce the traditional food, it shouldn't be just bringing them into the market and buy it. So we started like a very little experience. It's called the cooking experience. Yeah. So this cooking experience, the whole idea was more on while we're playing, I will just like explaining. We can play the video. Yeah, we can play the video first. So we actually choose kuih kochi, the making of kuih kochi.
they're not sweet.
Okay. So today I presented
So
these two.
cute.
Yeah. So as I said, like 2 years ago, we started, and the whole idea was one, the youth today, and also the younger generation, not just to know how to eat, but you appreciate. So from the cooking experience here, it's more on like teaching them the history alive. So why we have the kuih kochi? Actually, kuih kochi in Malay is something like onde onde also. So inside is actually sweet, but in some of our dialect, we call it not only the word onde onde or kuih kochi. Some is called even like they call lo mai chi. And to some extent, in some village, the Chinese village, they in fact they believe that using the lo mai chi, or you call it the kuih kochi, what they worshipping to, they worship to the buffalo. So why they worshipping to the buffalo? Not for human, but for the buffalo, because the buffalo to them is they depending on them to do the hard work, on the field. So they need that. So once a year they will make this kueh just to offer, okay, as an offering. But today we don't have this practice anymore, okay. So we just take it as a dessert. And the other one we have the uncle, similar like what Kamaria was just sharing with us. So if you see the shape just now, it's actually a tortoise shape. So there is a Chinese character word there. It's called longevity, soul. Okay, Chinese word is soul. So it started when the Chinese, we have the Chinese community who actually married, the men, they are the traders. And most of them, when those days they migrate to Peninsula or to Southeast Asia, the wife or some of them are single, or maybe their wife in China, they couldn't bring it over, so they had to marry to the local women. So they will teach back the local women, some during the festive praying, especially pray to the ancestor is a very big deal. So they need to make some dessert to pray to the ancestor, especially sweet, and bring the prosperity word. That's why Ang Ku Kueh, it's quite famous among the Baba Nyonya community. So Baba is the gentleman, Nyonya is a lady, especially we call it the Strait Settlement Chinese. Because in Peninsula, we have a Straits of Malacca. So we have Penang, Georgetown, Malacca, and Singapore. So we are along the Strait Settlement. That's why we call the Strait Settlement Chinese. They are the mix, Chinese mixed with the local women. And some of the women, in fact, they are from Java, which is today the Indonesia. Some from the Sumatra, which is it's still Sumatra Island. It belongs to Indonesia. That's why the culture is quite mixed with the Malay community. Yeah. So I think the whole idea of the today's session is more on using the glutinous. We might speak the different language. We might have the strong influence from the different background, whether it's the East or the West today. But I think we share in common. We all using the glutinous rice. So we might using the glutinous rice for the different purpose. But I think in the common is we use it as, I think we use it for festive, and we use it for the daily as a daily food as well. Yeah. So I think we have also some question, right? So maybe we can pose some question, because I know Kamaria will take a leave soon, and probably we can start with the Q&A session first. Okay, so we're going to have the Q&A. What does the food integration among the countries means? So I don't know, like maybe Kamaria, you want to comment on this?
For me, is intercultural, the
Mm-hmm.
integration of things. For
Mm-hmm.
one example is my husband's not local, so we
Mm.
integrate with you Malaysian with some of our food from the lomakai and everything,
Yeah,
and that's what we serve in the house. So
yeah.
integration also, that I believe that when we have no food in our country and we
Mm-hmm.
don't have these things like during COVID, you can
Mm.
always come to your place and you can send it across to us, the raw
Mm.
ingredients, and we can actually use them to help
Yeah,
us in our daily needs instead of using the same food. Because now with the lockdown, there's not a lot of food coming into our country. I mean,
yeah,
in most
yeah,
countries, when they say, "Oh, we don't have certain food," because we can't
yeah,
bring them in. So with
yeah.
this, we can help each other.
Yes, yes. And what about for Indra? What do you look at with this question, the food integration?
That's a very nice question, and it gives me thought provoking. As we have cultural integration, so needless to say that. we, we could have food integration. For example, the one come share to us the food. In Myanmar, we also have traditionally. So I have questions to her. Do they make only the same size, or can we make? I mean, a little bit bigger size? Because in
Yeah.
Myanmar, if it is bigger size, we name it Kamien Dok. Uh,
Mm.
if it is smaller size, we say yeah, you do. But it's
Mm.
really enjoyable, especially when we travel to uh, 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 when we travel in road trip. I mean, a very quite if we need to take for such a long time, so
Yeah.
that is enjoyable. So that's also it remember me. Oh, it's also somehow differences. Actually, it has differences, but it has somehow similar. So I mean,
Yeah.
I have heard is Brunei is making only the same size, or can we make it a little bit bigger size, or how? Because for the sake of size, we have different names.
Okay. And I
So
think, do we have like a question on like how to support? I think I need to start with the question first before Kamaria have to leave us. Yeah. So how do we
I
identify?
definitely have to go.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to answer this before you go?
How do we identify if the food is heritage food?
Yes.
One of the reason I think it's quite easy to identify them, especially when it comes through generations. And your grandmother saying, when we were smaller, so it already tells you it's gone from generation to generations. And also when the product is done in such a way when it's wrapped in natural things, that's
Yeah.
when it's heritage food. And you see them through photos and history books that the food has been there all this time.
Mm.
So not only food, it also has to do with drinks, like your teh
Mm.
tarik and all this. So it has gone through generation and generation and generation, and it's going through our grandchildren and grandchildren, yeah, our great grandchildren. So I
Yeah.
think you can easily identify the way it's cooked and the color itself, because
Yeah.
some of them are just very natural color. They are
Mm.
not
Mm.
so colorful. And if
Yeah.
they do, they use natural ingredients and natural leaves coloring. That's
Yeah.
how I identify it. Yep.
Okay. Sure. Okay. I got to set you free. You can move first.
Bye. I have to go.
Okay. So
Bye, everyone. Stay safe.
thank you. Stay safe to you also. See you next month. Yeah. Okay. So what about Indra? What do you like based on just now the question? What's your opinion?
heritage food. Okay,
Yes,
that's
heritage
also
food.
interesting. It comes to my mind a lot. For example, like water festivals.
Mm.
Uh, uh, Let me connect with the one uh, undi. So in Myanmar we call Molong Yibo. So it's also water festival food. So my mama made Molong Yibo,
Mm.
especially during water festival. But uh, I prefer, for example, 3A or Molasa. So why, mommy, you're always doing this all the time? You're always doing monologue. Or don't you have any a different idea to change? The heritage
Mm.
food, because this is like not bless grandmother days, my mom day, okay, and my days, or maybe my niece or nephew day. So next generation, we are season the first time we will make business and then share with our neighbors, share with our families, share with our relatives. So sometimes the food is so at that in that situation we can say heritage food,
Yeah.
which is like traditionally. So another one like according to religious sense, what we call when we talk about culture, it has it has religious culture plus traditional festive traditional culture. So for
Mm.
example, festival. So we have um, Samai, what we call. So another one is Shruti. So it depends on our taste and like. If while we like it, oh wow, we are eager, we are excited to join it. But if it is repeated or not too much appetizing or mouth-watering to individual personalities, in that
Yep.
sense, no ideas to try eagerly. So that is heritage food as well as what we call uh, food integration.
Mm.
So for me, actually I'm from Myanmar, but I ever consider for my personal health and
Mm.
wellness. So at first I like molong yibo, but for the sake of the hidden story with the Moloniver, I'm not much enjoyable because as you see, or it is said that I'm like a talented born or like a gifted one. So I have not much idea to just I'm Moloniver, but with only which is made of flour. I like it and because I prefer flour. So at the time, due to food integration, I
Mm.
changed from my taste or my preference changed from Myanmar to Malaysia.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. You enjoy Malaysia food. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Uh,
So,
I
so
personally, yeah.
this is I mean I have a patriotism. I love Myanmar somehow because I'm representing Myanmar. But when I consider my wellness and my preference, personal preference. So it moved from Myanmar to Malaysia. So it's like because it's like food integration to me.
Yeah. Okay. So long, based on these two questions, I would like to just a quick summarizing. Actually, just now part of my presentation, I already answered the question. To me, is story is important because when you even the food, when why you're making the food, and why you want to eat the food is always the story is important, and also your environment because I always like to search the oldest what is available. You see, you want to keep it traditionally, you need to make sure the availability, and of course the popularity, because only the popularity then we able to have the demand. So if you have the demand, that means you can have the supply. Okay, so we have to keep the demand. So I think those dessert or even like those festival, like just now you share with us, or even in Brunei, I think the common is number one, the integration is means is like the material and the way they're making the way of making, and also the taste is acceptable. Is acceptable. So that's why make the integration have been stronger. So whether it's in this country, A country or B country, it doesn't matter, because people easy to accept. Okay, people easy to accept, and the most common, it will help the heritage keep continue. Okay, if it's the taste is too strange or the ingredient is too difficult to find, then it's very hard to sustain. When I was in Japan, I was very curious of 1,000 years old food. Means it's like from 1,000 years old ago, they already make the food, and until today, they still sell the same. You see, they still sell the same, not even transforming it, which is the barbecue rice. So it's a rice cake, and barbecue it. So simple. It's very simple. And you know that Japan, they have cooked rice also, right? So when I come back and see, look at the Southeast Asia and also in the ASEAN member state, then I kind of like understood like why everything doesn't matter which country we go, we have a rice. So that is, it become a very strong interpretation on the word integration. See, we can speak the different language, but the ingredients is always the same. Like you use coconut in Brunei, we use coconut in Malaysia, we also use coconut. If you look at Philippines, if you look at Cambodia, I am sure they also have coconuts also. They're using the coconut and mixing, okay, with others. So that's why the integration. And for the heritage is so long that this is carry like 50 years and people still making the same, the texture. So it's not much different. But I do agree that the health conscious now. Okay, I do agree. So like Anku example or on day, like just now you mentioned, Originally, people like use coloring either because glutinous is purely white, just purely white color. It's not so attractive. That's why they use the coloring. But I agree now with the current and the trend coming, very health conscious. We want the natural color. So we start looking into like other possibility of the color from the fresh ingredient, not the color from the chemical. So over here we have many substitute now. So we don't cook glutinous as just glutinous. Sometimes we use the leaf color, we can use the fruits color, we can mixing, with the potato and etc. to get the natural color out of it. Like just now you see the purple color in the video, that is not color, that is a sweet potato in the purple color. So that's why you get the color in purple. Okay, so that's one of the example. Just like you see the green color is not from the green, it's from the pandan leaf. Yeah, from the pandan leaf. So I think whether integration or heritage, I think now we are very concerned on the word also make sure the food safety, make sure the way of making it has to be natural, not causing our health problem. Yeah. Can I have the next question also? We have more question to come. Yeah. What do you think of the extreme fusion food? Okay, so when the word extreme fusion, I don't know your extreme and my extreme, I call it the word like transformation. Now people like to mix and match, the East and the West culture. Example like we have burger. Now you even like burger, those day burger is like chicken burger, but now because in Asian, probably we will have burger tom yum taste or burger curry taste or burger with in Malaysia we always like to say nasi lemak, our coconut rice flavor with the anchovy sambar, which is a sambar chili paste with anchovy fish. So we like to mixing into like some food. So that is fusion because traditionally they don't have different periods of the timeline. You have a different periods of flavor. So I would say that it's good to have some transformation, you're creating more choice, but uh, don't neglect the originally taste. See, at least we must get let every generation have the opportunity to eat the originality. Okay, but later on you want to do some part of fusion or transformation into other way. Fine, fine, fine. It's just a choice. To me, it's just a choice. But don't totally that you let the traditional food, just gone like that. So, for example, like when I was in Japan, I was like quite happy. Like when I see the barbecue rice, I was like, wow, actually food quite simple. So now every country I visit, I always like to ask a question. They can come out the fusion or whatever the current popular, but I always ask, what is your most traditional or the oldest food that you have? Because to me, is I just want to understand their culture, understand their historical value. That is my anchor point. Yeah. What about Indra on the extreme fusion food?
Thanks for the question. Actually, if we are asked this extremely fusion food in Idealia's writing charts too, it would be quite challenging to many of the students in order to understand even the meaning. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with your ideas, your highlights, your point of view. We need to firstly, it actually, if it is the festive food, traditional food, we should have, I mean, originality so that we have that the food itself is like heritage food, and then we somehow for the sake of our uh, different tastes, we
Mm.
try to transform uh, by adding or by making somehow a little bit innovation so
Yep.
that you will get it fusion foods.
Yep.
For example, like last month what I presented, lapet,
Yep.
originally lapet, but we have Manali lapet, Yangon
Mm.
lapet, and Yamash lapet like that. So
Mm.
basically we eat lapet But we the way we the ingredients what we use is like originality, and that is like somehow fusion food.
Yeah, yeah. Because I can understand sometimes preparing traditional is not easy, to be honest. Like just now, the way you present your festival food, it's a big work, right? It's a big, huge work. But of course, you can do it cooking at home in a smaller portion. I understood that. But the
Yeah,
interpretation there is those days traditionally because we want like everybody participate, enjoy together, because it's a celebration. So we want everybody come out to working together. I can understand. It's part of the joy. Okay, it's not just whether the food is how tasty it is, but it's part of the joy, the enjoyment. Yeah, the interaction, the interactive each other. I can understand that because lately I was get into preparing the traditional food because my mom is trying to transform what she learned from my grandma. And I just realized because in those days you don't have blender, you don't have electronic stuff. So everything you use cut. So if you don't have a good cutting skill, if you don't have a patient, and if you want the modernization world today, especially our lifestyle now, is impatient, everything must be quick. We want easy, and then it's like, oh, everything must pause, everything must cut into the small sizes and required time. I think you will drive people interest away. I do agree that, I do agree that. So this kind of thing is actually take time. So what I'm trying to share here is let's have some balance. Let's have some balance. So first of all, we need to make people interest first. And of course, the easier way is to feed them. you know, Feed them first. Then that's why a good gastronomy interpretation is always like you have the hands-on experience. And then you start appreciating that you really understand the indigenous knowledge. And then now you understand the environmental is so important to us. So if we don't have this kind of natural ingredients, and that's it. We just cannot go back to the originality food. It's getting harder. Okay, so thanks for the answer. Also, I hope we do answer the audience question that you satisfied with our answer, and you get some better idea now, or okay, or some new inspiration. So, any other question? Do we have more question coming? Okay. How do you keep the quality of the ingredients when conducting the cooking experience? Wow. Okay. So I think I'm going to answer this because right now I'm actually promoting activities such as like cooking experience also. So in order to be very honest to you, um, every time I want to introduce a food, not in terms of just the story or the background, and also I need to make sure the ingredients is make sure available and fresh. So before I actually started, first I have to look for the resources. It took me a while to identify the shop or the supplier that where can we assure and guarantee. So in the end of the day, I think to be in the long term, in the long term, I always say that we need to be nice to farmer. We need to be nice to farmer. If we can work with an ethical farmer that can understand us well, and we know that the importance of the ingredients, then you just need to have your farm. Not just because of the cooking experience only. I think in most of the restaurant or most of the food business, I think they need to have their own farm because just to assure the quality, the not only the quantity but the quality. You see, the quality is very important. So right now in the cooking experience that what we conduct, we actually identify a few working partners that they do supply us like a good coconut milk, make sure fresh every day, and then the flour because and also the glutinous rice. Sometimes we need to identify the brand that we have to test it many time rounds, and then we have to understood in the different periods, the production. I mean the raw materials. Sometimes it could be changes due to the weather also. So that's why we have to do some sort of a good measurement, and also you have to fine tune the way of cooking. Otherwise, you cannot like just strictly follow the recipe. So that's how we can keep the quality of the food that we're going to cook. That is from my personal experience I have now. I'm not sure about for Indra. Do you have any opinions to share with us? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, for me, I usually care the quality. Quality. It talks about the standard, and then later it will highlight the system. So, for example, let me come back to the one I presented Chamaneh. So the
Mm,
ingredients,
mm,
which is we can also, for example, like for example, sugar. So when my LLA students stay, I come to, the ideas come to my mind. The selection we have white sugar or brown sugar. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
took, so this based on this highlights, I applied it in my daily life, my real world.
Mm,
I whenever I have a chance to salad to salad, I usually use brown sugar. So
ah,
nowadays, for the sake of brown sugar demand, and our my area brown sugar is widely available, and not
ah,
only one thing. I also would like to add one thing is alternative also alternative food, because we can also consider like alternative food, we have alternative medicine. So for me, some of the medicine I couldn't consume for the sake of its strong fragrance. So I try to get all the same quality, the same impact to the consumer, but
yeah,
the alternate one. So
yeah,
okay, the purpose for the ingredient is we want the the sweetness.
yeah.
Okay, so can we always use brown sugar instead of brown sugar? What can we use? Can we use like toddy palm or a similar one, a different one?
Yes.
So uh, to sum up, we not we when we consider the quality food, we can also while we couldn't the quality we want is unavailable. In that case, we can consider alternate quality one. It
Yeah.
it can because it can impact the food security, the health, the safety of uh, sorry, the safety of uh, the consumer. So
Yeah.
it is really, really important. And one thing I think is time is really, really flying, and we near to the conclusion. So in that case, I also would like to highlight why I select Tamane is. One can show with the picture. Actually, this Tamane is also one of one of the lessons in the government school, especially grade 10. One of the units the students are learned about Tamane in picture and how. So it's so that we are Myanmar learners are uh, trained these traditional festive food, especially in English textbook, so that we are sharing proudly our heritage food,
Mm.
even not only in Myanmar but also in English. So I think I talk a lot and I edit much. Thank you so much for the questions.
But we have one more question. Actually, we have one more question. No more. Oh, the cat question. That's all. Okay. So, just to share with you also a very quick one. In terms of healthy food, so long we consume, doesn't matter brown sugar, white sugar, palm sugar, or whatever sugar, it still will causing you diabetes also. Okay. So in terms of healthy, it's only you have to cut down the sugar level. That's all. Okay. But of course for diabetes, because for me, I when I do the cooking, I also make it very specific. Like if you want to do like for diabetes, we cannot put any of the original sugar. We can't. We have to put the artificial sugar, which is the normally that the diabetes they have the specific they call it the I forgot I forgot the name now. Okay, but usually they have a specific sugar for themselves. Okay, so that is, so I want to share with you, like, it's not about what sugar. So long if it's come to the sickness, certain vitamins or certain extract from them is not suitable. Like if you are kidney patient, potassium, you can't have high potassium, no matter how tasty. Okay, you just cannot have high potassium. So this is some of the knowledge we have. So I want to check, if you want to go healthy food, then you have to make sure comply that healthy food is for what specific. Okay, but when come to the originality food, like for leisure, so we have to be spelled out clearly the ingredients of the amount. Like if you want to, like me now, I always tell them my food is always less sweet. So if you like sweeten, you put your own. You put more sweet to your. So that's why I like to do cooking experience. So you can control. Like for me, I don't like glutinous rice, but I cannot, because of my gastric, I don't eat the glutinous. So what I do is I have to mixing with potato. So I always mix with the potato. So I reduce the glutinous rice flour usage so that I won't, because of the glutinous, I causing my gastric problem. Okay, so you can do the adjustment. Okay, so I think that's about all for today's session. And thanks to all the audience that have joined us. So I do hope you learn something based on culture, the way of cooking, and different information. So I really hope you enjoy, and don't forget to keep following us, and always go to Ask Sika Anything and Purposeful Sensory Journey. Yeah. So looking forward to see you again. So Indra, thanks for joining us in the Ask Sika. So we will see soon again. Yeah. Somewhere. Okay. Okay. Bye everyone. Thank you. Bye. Love again. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.